We're here at Scotiabank Arena for an episode of The Latest. I'm your host, Kate Pedersen, joined by Dave Pagnotta. And Dave, we just saw the Toronto Maple Leafs get out to a 2-0 series lead, and now the series shifts to Sunrise. What's it going to take from the Florida Panthers to get themselves back into this one?
Yeah, Brad Marchand said after the game that they now see what they're up against with this Toronto Maple Leafs team, a team that continued to push, a team that took advantage of some miscues and turnovers immediately by the Florida Panthers. Their attack on the rush after a turnover was fantastic tonight. It led to a couple of their goals, and it ultimately led to their victory tonight to go up 2-0. They're bringing a little bit more physicality. They're playing a lot more responsibly, and this is a different type of Maple Leaf squad that the Florida Panthers haven't seen in years past, and as well as Brad Marchand did not see last year in the postseason in the first round. The Leafs, at the same time, Kate, they know that it's going to be a totally different kind of animal that they're going to have to face off against at home in Sunrise starting on Friday. They said, let's enjoy it now, but we need to get ready for Game 3.
Absolutely. All the players with the same message, sort of, we have to match that desperation, and we know that they're going to come out hard, and we have to come out with that same level of hard play. Absolutely. Okay, let's take a spin around the league to teams that aren't in the postseason here. We've got Utah, and we've got some exciting news. 13 months into it, they finally have a name. It is the Utah Mammoth. That was a fan vote. They said over 850,000 votes. I was Team Hockey Club, but Mammoth they are. And speaking of Mammoth, they have quite a bit of cap space to work with. GM Bill Armstrong will have over $22 million. The ownership has expressed a win-now mentality. How aggressive do you think they'll be?
Yeah, I think they will be very aggressive. They may spend that full 22 point whatever it is million this offseason, both via free agency and the trade market. Bill Armstrong's going to be very active on both fronts. The mandate from ownership, the messaging is playoffs for next season. They want to push for that. We were there, both of us were there for the first ever home game in Salt Lake City. It was electric. And
absolutely electric.
Absolutely insane. And with everything that they're doing with the arena, the renovations that they're going to implement starting this offseason, starting this month, coupled with how competitive they want to be next season, they want to reward their fans immediately. And we're going to see Bill Armstrong be aggressive. I'm very curious because they won the second phase of the lottery, now drafting 4th overall. If they entertain that possibility in a trade, they will be looking to spend money, and they will get in on some of the key free agents that are going to be available July 1 as well. End of June through the beginning of July, that's going to be a very important time, I think, for the Utah Mammoth. We'll see what they pull up.
All right, well, over in Calgary, Rasmus Andersson has 1 year left on his deal, and he's expressed that he wants to stay. What do you think the likelihood is that they get that extension done before the NHL draft?
Yeah, that's going to be the task. And he, as you said, has expressed his desire to stay. Craig Conroy, their general manager, has expressed his desire to keep him. But it's got to all work, and you're probably looking at something, a long-term deal in the $7-8 million range, perhaps even further north of that, depending on what the ultimate term is going to be. If they can't figure things out by draft time, even though he has 1 year left, it sounds like they may entertain the idea of trading him around the draft in Los Angeles. But we're several weeks away from that. They're going to take some time to hunker down, management and the representation for Andersson, to see if they can come to terms on a long-term extension. If they can, and that can only be signed July 1, then they'll do that. If they can't, don't be surprised to hear his name in and around the draft.
Okay, lastly, let's touch on what we heard from St. Louis. Doug Armstrong saying that Torrey Krug will not likely play in the NHL again.
Yeah.
And what that means from a dollars perspective is it frees up $6.5 million in cap space. So where do you think St. Louis goes with that in mind?
They're going to be an interesting team this offseason, Kate, because they've got just under $6 million in cap space. They don't have any significant free agents that they're going to need to get on the books. And now they've got an additional 6.5 to play with if they want to exceed the new salary cap going into next season. So it gives Armstrong, it gives Steen a lot of flexibility to work with, and it gives them the opportunity to be creative. They can address the blue line if they want to, bring somebody in for the third pair, a responsible, reliable veteran defenseman presence. Or add a little bit more firepower up front within their top six if they want to bring in some more offense. It's going to be another team to keep tabs on in and around draft time and in and around July 1. Now that they've got a little extra wiggle room financially to play with, don't be surprised if they spend it.
All right, well, we'll keep tabs on that as well as continuing our playoff coverage here. It's the latest on the fourth period.